In South India, especially when we discuss something with our elders, particularly parents, they often counter with Mata, Pita, Guru, Daivam. How do we recounter this and how does one understand this? Actually, what they are saying is true. In the society, the father, the mother, the teacher, and the ruler, these are considered natural spiritual masters. They are the natural spiritual masters because their subjects and their children automatically learn things from them and follow whatever they teach. So they are spiritual masters. But then the Bhagavatam says all these people, if they have to take that respect, Gurur Devo Bhava, Mata Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, if they have to take that respect like that, then respect does not come free. You also have some responsibility. You fulfill a certain responsibility, then you are eligible to take that respect. You can demand that respect. You can command that respect. Now what does the Bhagavatam say? The Bhagavatam says, Pitana sasyat, janani nasasyat, gurur nasasyat, devo nasasyat, patir nasasyat, bandhur nasasyat, namoche riha samupeta mrityum. You should not become a father. You should not become a mother. You should not become a teacher. You should not become a husband. You should not become a demigod or a devata. You should not even become a relative to someone if you are unable to deliver your subordinate from the clutches of repeated birth. Samupeta mrityum. If you are unable to deliver your dependent from the clutches of repeated birth and death, then you don't have any right to become a father or a mother or a teacher or a demigod or any kind of relative. This is what the Shastras state. So, if you are capable of delivering your subordinate from the clutches of birth and death, then Gurur Devo Bhava, Matru Devo Bhava, Pitru Devo Bhava, then you are eligible for that position. So, the Shastras state, what do the Shastras state? The Bhagavatam says that Nayam Rinina Kinkaro Rajan. A person, Yaha Saranam Saranyam Gato Pariharatya Kartam. If one takes shelter of the lotus feet of Mukunda, Krishna, and gives up all other duties and surrenders himself to the lotus feet of Krishna, then what happens? Then Nayam Rinina Kinkaro Rajan. Devarshi bhutapta nirnam pitrunam nayam rinina kinkaro rajan. One is no more obligated to serve. Devarshi bhutapta nirnam pitrunam. To one's parents, to one's father, to one's mother, to one's to all the devatas, to all the rishis, to all the munis. We have no obligation to anyone. We have no obligation to the society. We are not obligated to anybody. If we are surrendering ourselves fully to the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. So you have to understand why in the Vedic scriptures that culture is inculcated that you have to surrender to your father, you have to surrender to your mother, you have to surrender to your guru, you have to surrender to the devatas. Why? To inculcate the culture of surrendering. So that if you are already used to that, this one, there is a superior, means I must surrender to him. I must follow his instructions. Then when you come to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Aham Adirhi Devanam, Krishna is the source of all the devatas, whether it is Shiva, Brahma, Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Agni, anybody, whoever it is, Shani, everybody, all of them are created by Krishna. Aham Adirhi Devanam, Krishna is the source of all of them. When one understands that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Aham Bija Pradapita Sarva Yunishupa, my parents, my father, my mother, they have all been created by Krishna only. I am also created by Krishna. Mama Ivamcho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatanaha. I am eternally a part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is the supreme whole and I am the small insignificant portion of him. When one understands that, what happens? Oh, Krishna is that supreme Lord. Then what is his instruction? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja. Krishna says in the 18th chapter, 66th verse, what is the ultimate instruction of Krishna? Paramam vachaha. The ultimate instruction of Krishna is reject everything else and surrender unto Krishna alone. Immediately, because you have been inculcated with that culture to surrender to your superiors, you will immediately surrender to Krishna. If you are born and brought up in a Western culture, why I should surrender? My independence, my freedom is the most important thing. If you are brought up in that culture, when Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja, Krishna is saying, give up everything else, surrender unto me alone. What will happen? Surrender. Why should I surrender? You will not be able to surrender. Because culture is not there. So that is why you see Vedic culture is so important. You are taught, you are trained, surrender, surrender, surrender. To everybody you have to surrender. You have to surrender to your father, you have to surrender to your mother, you have to surrender to your elder brother, you have to surrender to your elder sister, you have to surrender to your teacher, you have to surrender to the Devata. Everywhere you are, every step you are being taught, there is somebody above you, you have to surrender. You have to surrender. And when you know above everybody else, it is Krishna who is worthy of taking the shelter of everybody else. Saranam Sharanyam. He is the Sharanya. He is the only person worthy of shelter. Everybody else has to surrender unto him. Even all the Chiralokapala, even all the Devatas like Brahma and Shiva also will go and place their heads at the lotus feet of Krishna. Then I am bowing down to them and they are bowing down to Krishna. So I also have to bow down to Krishna. It becomes very easy. So these instructions are given in the Vedic scriptures for that end. So we have to understand that. And you see, you take the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was totally surrendered to Vishnu. But his father never surrendered to Vishnu. So did Prahlad Maharaj surrender to him? No, Prahlad Maharaj always opposed him. He said, oh dear best of the Asuras, when Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj, first time, the second time when he asked, Prahlad Maharaj told him Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. First time when he asked him, when Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad Maharaj, what is the best thing you have learnt in school? So immediately Prahlad Maharaj replied that Asura Varya, oh best of the Asuras, Hitvatmapatam Grihamandakupam Vanam Gato Yadharimashrayeta. My dear best of the Asuras, best thing is you have fallen into the deep, dark well of family life. Give up all this. Take sannyas. Reject your family, your kingdom, everything. Go to the forest and start meditating upon Vishnu. Surrender to him. Vanam gato yad harimashrayeta. Take shelter of Vishnu. Hari. Go to the forest. 5-year-old boy. He is advising his father. What did the father do? He immediately became violent with anger. He threw him down and he said, hey, what are you doing? Who do you think you are? You have become so big, you are advising your father? Who do you think you are? If a father becomes like that, you have to reject him. There are so many examples like this in the Vedic scriptures that Pitana Sasyad, Prahlad Maharaj rejected his father because his father refused to surrender to Vishnu. Jananina Sasyat, who rejected his mother? Anybody knows? Who rejected his mother because she did not surrender to Vishnu? Not Dhruva Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj. Bharat Maharaj's mother, who was Bharat Maharaj's mother? Kaikeyi. Because Kaikeyi did not surrender to Ramachandra, Bharat Maharaj rejected his own mother. Pitana Sasyat, Jananina Sasyat, Patirna Sasyat. Who rejected her husband? All the Brahmana Patnis. When the Gopas, when the cowherd friends of Krishna, when they went and approached the Yajnika Brahmanas were engaged in performing yajna. They went and asked them for food for Krishna. They refused. They sent them away. And the Krishna sent them back again. He told his cowherd boyfriends, go to the wives of the Brahmanas and ask them. So when the boys came and told the wives of the Brahmanas, Krishna and Balaram are hungry, they are asking for food. Immediately, all the Brahmana Patis, whatever food they had made for the yajna, they collected, packed everything and started going to Krishna. And immediately all the husbands came and stopped them. Hey, where are you going? All this food is meant for the yajna. Where are you taking all that? The wife said, Krishna is hungry, we are going to feed them. And the husband said, no, you cannot go. If you go, we will reject you. Divorce. The wife said, do whatever you want. You go to hell. and we are going. And they rejected their husbands and went. Patir nasasyat. And Gurur nasasyat. Who rejected his Guru? Bali Maharaj. All of you are learned scholars. Bali Maharaj rejected his Guru, Shukracharya. Why? Because Shukracharya told him, don't give this donation of land which Vamana Deva is asking. He is not simple Vamana Deva. He is Vishnu. Bali Maharaj said, you only taught everything should be offered to Vishnu. And now when Vishnu is coming and asking you to tell me to reject, get lost, I am rejecting you. I am going to give everything to Vishnu. So he rejected his own Guru. And who rejected all the Devatas? The Vrajavasis. When they were wanted to perform the Indra Yajna, Krishna came and told them, no, stop this. Instead worship Govardhan hill. Immediately, all the Vrajavasis, they rejected the Indra Yajna and worship Govardhan. So they rejected the Devatas. So like this, these examples are given in the Vedic scriptures to understand that all relations, whether superior or subordinate to us, are meant to be, we are obligated to those relationships, and we are meant to maintain those relationships only for the purpose of connecting us to Krishna or Vishnu. If they are not helping us to surrender to Vishnu or Krishna, then the Shastras, the Vedic scriptures, give us full license to reject all such relationships. Okay? So this is how our Vedic scriptures, this is how we have to understand what the Vedic script, the point of view of the Vedic scriptures. Of course, don't go and tell your father and mother all these things. Then that's all, you'll be on the street next day. You have to handle them nicely, you have to handle them properly, you have to practically see. So you have to understand that you are also not in a position to preach to them. You are not Prahlad Maharaj and they are not Hiranyakashipu. So don't take that example to its extreme. So best way is, you have to understand that you are a subordinate, you cannot preach to them. You bring them to the temple, you introduce them to the devotees, let them preach to them. You give them Krishna Prasadam, you give them malas and make them chant Hare Krishna, give them books of Prabhupada. Prabhupada will preach to them. That's the practical way of doing it. Okay? So don't take all these examples and start going tomorrow, hey, Asuravarya, I'm rejecting you. Go and don't do that with your parents. Okay.